Alright guys, so 1.4.8 is now out for the DJI Fly app update. I've done a full test on this, which is going to be coming very soon, covering some of the main points. Obviously this now adds support for the DJI Mini SE, which is releasing really soon. And then it adds support for the DJI Air 2S. You've now got trim downloads. I'll be doing a separate video on the DJI Air 2S as well, covering this. But we're going to be looking today at what are these camera exposure adjustments and also what's different with the new attitude indicator. So before going updating, I do recommend just watching this full video. I know they're not the most interesting of videos, but I do like to cover everything in depth before giving my recommendation to you guys. All right, let's get into it. So I'm going to be splitting this down into different chunks, and the first thing I want to look at is the new camera exposure adjustments, and this is on the DJI Mini 2. So in the bottom right hand corner where it says EV, you can now click on this, and what's different and what's new is when you click on it, you've now got a slider bar, just like when you're changing your frame rate as well. It now goes all the way down from -3 up to +3, but there are some important differences that you need to be made aware about. When you are moving this slider, this now locks your exposure, and this is the only way I can find so far of locking your exposure by using this new slider. So the ability to actually press and hold onto the screen, certainly on iOS, doesn't appear to work anymore. So use this slider. It all depends on your personal preference and how bright it is. I'll get onto the colors later on, but for me, I usually have it either on 0 or -3. But this, when by clicking on the screen and pressing it and holding, just like you used to be able to, and that then locks the exposure, that doesn't work. I tried a few times, press and hold, nothing, it doesn't work. If you have found a way, let me know, certainly, but at the moment, this is the only way of locking your exposure, this new EV menu in the bottom right hand corner. In Pro mode, there is no option. Let me just adjust this because there's no ND filter on, so you actually set your own values. Okay, attitude indicator, what's new? So no, the old compass hasn't come back, but the attitude indicator in the bottom left hand corner, unless you actually had really thin fingers, it was so hard to press it and actually to switch between the compass and the map. It still works the exact same, the way it faces you, the orientation, the attitude of the drone still works identical, so that's all new. What they've done is they've made the actual UI a lot better. It's fast and snappy now. The ability to actually bring the attitude indicator up, switch to map, switch back to attitude indicator is so easy. It's just a slight press in one of the corners and it works. So no more of the pressing it 700 times to get it to work. Settings, let's look at settings. This is when settings can be added, they can be taken away, so you need to make sure that it's all there, and also if you've lost any of your values, your custom settings, double check them. Regards to iOS and charging, it is still working. As you can see in the top right hand corner, that is charging my phone while it's connected, and I'm just going to go and run through the settings and just go through and see if there's anything different or not, because again, it's really important. We did lose the option of charging the phone on or off, but that has unfortunately still not made a comeback. And relating to the actual settings, so far from my first having an in-depth look at this, there isn't anything new at all. Everything on the actual interface relating to settings is the exact same as it was a couple of weeks ago. Let me just adjust this horizon line. So any guys who are having problems with their horizontal line, that still is the same. So hopefully in a firmware update that will be solved, or you can send your drone back to be repaired as well if you keep having them issues. But settings, guys, nothing is new there, but we want to make sure that it actually is performing as well. So coming up in the next part will be a performance test, because I know a lot of you guys, especially with Huawei and some Samsung S21 phones, was having issues with the DJI Fly app. So if you were having such poor performance, it would be worth upgrading to this and just seeing how it works for you now. Hopefully those problems have been rectified. On the main actual screen, nothing is new there as well. We've still got the ability 4K 30, 24, 2.7K up to 60, and 1080p up to 60. That would have been great, 1080p 120, but no, not today. relating to features like that, that would be a firmware update. But let's look at the performance, how this app performs. So a few of you were mentioning that there was problems with lag and stuttering on the old firmware update and the old app, which was 1.4.4. So we haven't got a new firmware update just yet, but this app should address some of those issues that you were having. I'm going to keep majority of this rolling, and I'm also screen recording as well. So it is processor intense screen recording and actually using the app as well. But as you can see, it is really stable. There is no lag there. There's no stuttering. The only time I will experience any is usually when it's really traveling fast in sports mode and when I'm stopping or starting recording. But as I'm going up now, the signal in the top right hand corner is still at full bars, just approaching this tram track as well, and we're going to drop signal because that's what it's used to, but I'm having no problems. In sports mode, again, it's nice and stable. I've had no issues with this. So for those guys who are having problems with this, it's a brilliant time to go and actually update, because obviously what you have fed back to me, it can't get any worse. So it's worth trying. In relation to some people who were absolutely fine, then yeah, it's a stable update. There's nothing I can say at the moment which is really negative. I will speak about the colours in a second because that's just my observation. Flying into the wind, you're still going to get the sports mode message. That's just the way the drone pitches. That's not a fault, so that's not a problem. But it's stable. I can't see any problems with this. But to be honest, I didn't really have a lot of problems before, but I know some of you guys did then. If you just noticed then there was a small lag. I'm just going to actually go straight forward over this path, so it will become more apparent if there is any lag there. But as I'm flying this is back in normal mode. Everything is nice and stable there. I'm not having any issues with the performance or lag, or I've had no blackouts, no drops in the signal. It's absolutely fine, and this area now is fairly low getting towards tram tracks, so there's a lot of interference in this area, and that signal has been no worse than it ever has been before. I'm just going to test out now and show you that, because a couple of you guys let me know you couldn't record in 4K, so I don't know if that was a bug, but this is now 4K 24 and that looks fine. But the colours to me just look a bit too saturated. I could edit these, but I don't know if they've messed around with the colours. What do you think? Let me know. If go and test this out yourself. They just look a bit too overly saturated. That picture doesn't look as pleasant anymore. And this is, obviously there's no ND filter on, which I would normally use, but I don't know. It might just be me. It might be my eyes going from spending too much time in front of this computer, but the colours just look a bit too overly saturated and too sharp. You could move them down yourself, but let me know. In regards to all the different shooting modes, 4K, 2.7K and 1080p, that's all recorded absolutely fine, so there's no issue there. And then I'm just going to quickly put it into FPV mode. We did get the new FPV mode performance boost on the last update, so it actually flies a lot better and mimics more of that FPV style of flying. And again, in FPV mode, it's still great, a lot of fun. Try this out in sports mode. I'd recommend that. You're going to get the best sort of performance out of that. But again, as you can see, there is no lag, no problems with the app. And I am screen recording as well. So for me, aside from the colour issue, which is again personal preference, there isn't any problems with this. I do like the new attitude indicator. I think that's great how I can now switch quickly without having to fumble pressing all the buttons millions of times. I'm just going to now increase the height to around about 100 meters. I just want to see if there's any problems with it, any constant wind warning messages, which we used to get a long time ago. And when you're at a decent height like this is where it's probably a good opportunity and time to change your exposure, either bring it down or bring it up. It is heavily washed out in that top right hand corner, you can see there, so an ND filter would have been perfect for this today, but I'm just doing this quick video for you. So it's nice and stable. Nothing extra, to be honest, has been added aside from the new exposure value bar. Do you like that? Do you not? You've still got the return to home option where you can change the orientation of the drone, so that's great. That's a fantastic feature that I hope we can get on the Air 2S. The main feature is obviously if you're going to be picking up the DJI SE, which is dropping really soon. That's now compatible with this. And the attitude indicator, which is good, I think we're all used to that now, that actually does work a lot better. So go and check it out, guys. Go and update it. Let me know how you get on, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care, and anyone new around here, make sure you like and subscribe. Bye-bye.